Hello, Shark Tank. Tonight we present to you Clarify. Before we start, this is our team who has worked hard behind the scenes. You'll hear from them later in their contributions. These smart women were fun to work with and they had great ideas. We've broken this nationwide issue into 4 segments. We are the students with a social business focus. You'll see why with Clarify. This is our story. We're young entrepreneurial students with a purpose. The pandemic has brought us to do a lot of reflection on our problems as a society. We're trained by our parents, our peers, and our families to carry on more debt than we can handle, and we're going to be hurting for the rest of our lives because of it. Universities are growing in their resources, but many of their checks are bouncing. Tuition in the US has increased over 400% from 1985 to 2018. That rate is skyrocketing by the year, and it's even doubled inflation. Yet we still send more and more students to college without the financial preparation they need. American debt culture has struck a nerve with all of us because an extremely important conversation about spending habits has not been properly facilitated between students and their community. Expert economists have predicted that the next recession debt that we've carried over the years has become the straw that breaks the camel's back. We're trapped in a growing debt bubble that is about to explode. The lack of financial literacy in the States is stunning, and this lack of knowledge has created slow and visible damage to every American's wallet. Most students actually rely on federal loans for getting through school, but don't really understand how their cultural spending habits can lead them into a debt spiral with private loans and loan sharks that really is never contained. We have surveyed roughly 470 college students at Ohio State University to get a better understanding of whether or not college students have clarity when navigating their financial career. From our sample of students, and over 90% have never even utilized Ohio State's peer-to-peer financial service, Scarlet and Gray Financial. Students, on the most part, rely on their past experiences when handling finances. The silver lining in this data collection process was that among the students who did take personal finance in their prior schooling, an overwhelming majority of them referred to it as their primary source of knowledge. This data tells us that students are willing to use it, but they don't trust everything on the internet. Our goal at Clarify is to bridge the knowledge gap between the peer-to-peer services at Ohio State and this incoming student classes. Here's a video of our prototype in action.
We also aim to provide an educational platform rather than a tool. With that, a goal of ours is to help our users retain their knowledge through interactive features and quizzes. Our platform will not be formatted like a textbook. To also make the learning experience fun and connectable to real life, we have a discovery page that will provide current information and news related to finance.
College is one of the first times that you can truly live independently. And this, for many people, means managing your own finances for the first time. Our goal at Clarify isn't to have you memorize every single component about taxes or Roth IRAs, but rather so that you can gain a gradual understanding of how financial management works and use this understanding to make your own decisions moving forward. What we can and strive to do through Clarify is to help you feel comfortable when you're making these decisions in a way that's beneficial to yourself and your family.
Debt say goodbye, hello Clarify. Our marketing team and our development team members used existing market data to determine what makes an app successful. They also considered the university students' voice by leaning in on their input as to what makes the apps that they own likable. We've constructed these as the core components of Clarify.
Next, just taking a look at some of our competitors, we've got it split up into 7 different categories here, all of which we consider to be important for any financial education app. The first component is education focused. We really want to hone in on teaching the content to our audience, not just giving them information. And one of our competitors, Mint, is mainly focused on providing tools such as budget templates to help people manage their money, which is great, but is really missing the learning aspect of it so that you can actually understand what you're doing in the process. And lastly, the app needs to be focused strongly for college students, and again, FinStrong in this area doesn't have enough in-depth features to gear their content towards college students, which Clarify will.
The web tools and application are suited for American college students. Our primary revenue stream for programming and content development will be through programming with the academic institutions as our key partners. This is a win-win for the universities. Delivering on our content will drive student retention rates, which earns colleges more money over time. And using software resources that we've built will help the universities become market leaders in educational mobile applications when in-person resources are heavily limited.
Okay, now let's look at the target market. Our target market is OSU first-year college students who want to develop an awareness about financial management, who want to better independently control their money, and who want a single platform that combines financial topics. Our marketing goal is to increase public awareness of financial education as well as generating leads. As our storytelling will show that there are millions of American students are struggling with their student debt. Lack of those financial experience would make those young adults feel even more stressed and painful. It would be extremely helpful if there's a guide to help students deal with their current financial situations. That's why they need to choose Clarify. And also, we have built our public pages to post our important information for more attractions. For further steps, we will use email lists as the tool to expand our marketing. We will also consider to cooperate with other organizations such as schools, since our target market is the first-year college students.
Here's a list of our top 6 value propositions. These are based on what our target market perceives as important and what some of our competitors lack in. As mentioned before, we want to gamify the learning experience, and one of the main ways we plan to do that is through incentives. One being a point system which can be exchanged into real money to be used toward charity donations and in-app purchases. In the future, we'll be expanding our accessibility in order to accommodate more individuals. Our building process follows the concept of design thinking. We're currently working on step 1, 2, and 3. Step 4 is where we would start expanding and do test runs. At the end of all this, we hope to formally launch Clarify and then continue to improve based on the post-launch analysis.
Again, our revenue streams are primarily coming through the university. We have accessible features that students can choose to upgrade, but at the end of the day, we are a social business and we are goal-oriented at tackling student debt. The American author James Baldwin once said, "Anyone who has ever struggled with poverty knows how extremely expensive it is to be poor. Don't let your debt multiply. Download Clarify."
And with that, we'd like to open it up to any questions or comments that you have regarding Clarify.